Most people live in quiet despair, trapped in the routines of daily life, never daring to confront the deeper questions of existence. Søren Kierkegaard, the father of existentialism, challenged this state of being, not by offering easy solutions, but by presenting a profound, unsettling question. Are you living authentically? Kierkegaard believed that most people live in a state of distraction, avoiding the anguish of existence through the pursuit of comfort, social norms, or worldly success. This, for him, was the great tragedy of human life, the refusal to face the truth of our own freedom and the responsibility that comes with it. His answer to this existential crisis wasn't about finding meaning through external accomplishments, but about turning inward to confront the anxiety that arises from the realization that our lives are defined by the choices we make. At the core of Kierkegaard's philosophy is the idea that each individual must take ownership of their existence, not through the safety of certainty, but through the courage to live in uncertainty. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom, Kierkegaard wrote. For him, the greatest threat to human existence wasn't failure or suffering, but the unwillingness to make authentic choices. He saw this avoidance as the root of despair, the mask of mediocrity, living in inauthenticity. For Kierkegaard, mediocrity is not merely about leading a life of comfort. It is about living in a state of inauthenticity, where we hide behind roles, routines, and societal expectations, never questioning what it means to live truly and fully. He described this as the life of the crowd, where people surrender their individuality to become a mere reflection of the masses. In his view, most people live behind masks, presenting a facade to the world that conforms to what society expects, but never digging deeper to ask, who am I really? This inauthenticity is an escape from the terrifying freedom of selfhood. Kierkegaard called it living in bad faith, an existence devoid of the radical honesty that comes from confronting our fears, our doubts, and our personal limitations. The most common form of despair is not being who you are, Kierkegaard wrote. This is not just about adopting societal values or norms. It is about evading the responsibility of becoming your true self. Mediocrity, for Kierkegaard, is the refusal to take that existential leap, to venture into the unknown, to risk failure, and to live with purpose. The leap of faith, embracing the absurd. Where Nietzsche saw self-overcoming as the path to greatness, Kierkegaard saw something even more radical, the leap of faith. In the face of life's absurdity, the irrationality, uncertainty, and lack of ultimate meaning, Kierkegaard argued that the only way to live authentically was to embrace faith. Not necessarily in the religious sense, but in the idea that we must commit to something beyond rational calculation, something that requires us to take a leap into the unknown. For Kierkegaard, faith was not about blindly following dogma or religious rules. Instead, it was an act of deep, personal conviction, where the individual chooses to live with passion, even in the face of uncertainty. He called this the night of faith, the individual who lives in the tension between the finite and the infinite, between reason and absurdity, embracing the contradictions of existence with a deep sense of purpose. This leap of faith is the antithesis of mediocrity because it demands the courage to live without guarantees. Kierkegaard saw this as the highest form of human existence, where one embraces the full weight of their freedom without the crutch of certainty or societal approval. It is a leap that transcends reason, requiring an inward journey that is often lonely and terrifying, but ultimately freeing. The aesthetic, ethical, and religious life. Kierkegaard outlined 3 stages of life that people can navigate: the aesthetic, the ethical, and the religious. The aesthetic life is one of pleasure-seeking and surface-level existence, where individuals avoid deeper meaning by focusing on momentary satisfaction. It's a life that can appear exciting, but is ultimately shallow and filled with despair because it avoids the existential questions that matter. The ethical life, in contrast, is one where individuals commit to moral principles, living by a set of rules that give structure and meaning to their lives. However, even this stage is incomplete, as it relies on external values that can still distance the individual from their true self. The highest stage, the religious life, is where Kierkegaard believed people could find true authenticity. But this doesn't mean simply adhering to religious dogma. Rather, it's about making a personal, subjective commitment to something greater than oneself, even in the face of absurdity. It's about choosing to live passionately, to embrace the tension between doubt and faith, and to create meaning in a world that offers none. Living beyond mediocrity. The courage to choose Kierkegaard's philosophy isn't a roadmap to success, but a challenge to live with authenticity. To move beyond mediocrity, one must first confront the deep existential anxiety that comes from realizing that life has no predefined meaning. This realization can lead to despair, but for Kierkegaard, despair was not the end. It was the beginning of true selfhood. To live authentically means to embrace the freedom that comes with making choices, even when the outcome is uncertain. It means having the courage to leap into the unknown, to live with passion and purpose, even in a world that offers no easy answers. Kierkegaard's question to us is not whether we are succeeding in life by society's standards, but whether we are truly choosing to live fully, deeply, and authentically. In the end, Kierkegaard's philosophy is a call to reject mediocrity by embracing the tension between doubt and faith, between despair and hope. It's a call to become the authors of our own lives, not by seeking comfort or certainty, but by daring to choose, to live authentically, passionately, and with faith in the unknown.